Hi everyone, I'm Sarah Brown and I would like to thank you and welcome you for joining me here for this dynamic Pilates video. We've just got 45 minutes together, so this is a short, sharp burst and we're focusing today on balance work and also the stabilizers of the hip. So for those of you who've been sitting at your desks for long periods of time, we tend to find that the glutes start to misbehave. They don't switch on and activate the way that they're supposed to. So this session is especially for you to get the glutes stabilized, get all of those muscle fibers firing up and making sure that you move efficiently and that your hips stay healthy. So when you're ready, grab yourself a yoga block or a hardback. We will be standing on it, so do make sure that the cover of the book has some integrity to it. That's very important, both for your own safety. We'll come to your mat and we'll make a start. So taking the feet just a little bit wider than hip width apart, and we'll reach both arms all the way up to the sky, interlace the fingers, and we'll take a little side bend over to the right side. Come back through center. We'll take a little side bend over to the left and back to center. Take the hands just behind the base of the neck. We'll squeeze the elbows back, transfer the weight into the balls of the feet, perhaps take a slight bend in the knees just to take pressure off the lower back. And we'll reach the chest up to the sky as we open through the top of the chest and the throat. We then bring the elbows towards each other as we tuck the chin in. Roll down through the spine and release the fingertips all the way to the floor and let everything go. Maybe take a little sway side to side. Beautiful. And then find your stillness on the mat. Place your right palm down into the floor. Push into that palm as we yawn your right arm open. And then change sides. So right palm presses and left palm opens. And then we come back to the floor. Now, as you press the left palm into the earth, yawn the right arm open and stretch the right knee. And then exhale, change sides, right palm down, left palm open, stretch the left knee. So this just increases the stretch on the outer edges of the hips. And then come back down through. Let everything go as we roll back up through the spine. The arms and head and chest are heavy. Little shoulder roll forward, back and down. And we'll take the hands to the hips. We'll step forward on the right leg. And we'll move through into some warm up for the thighs and the glutes. So just a couple of little lunges all the way down. We'll go for 10. Here's 9. Belly draws in. 8, 7, and 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Beautiful. We'll come back, take step back, and then we'll change legs, step the left leg forward, lunging down for 10 and 9, making sure that the front knee tracks directly over the ball of that left foot. The hips are staying square. The back heel is on top for 3, for 2, last one, and then we'll step back, take a couple of deep squats. So we reach the arms forward, the knees are tracking forward, trying to get the sit bones as low as you can, chest is lifted, and then we come all the way to the top. Let's do 5 more. For 5, good. For 4, here's 3 and 2, last one. And then we come all the way back up. We take a step forward on the right leg. Now, if you do have your weights on, amazing. This is going to be a little challenging. So it's more about the standing leg than it is the back lifted leg. But we do want to try and get that back leg as high as you can off the floor. We lift and lengthen, keeping the back knee nice and straight. The standing leg is bent. We do a toe tap, lengthen, lift, toe tap, lengthen, lift for 10. And 9, the hips are completely square. 8, 7, 6, 5, belly in. 4, long through the back of the neck for 3, 2, Last one, we squeeze and hold the leg parallel to the floor. We reach the arms out by the ears. As the elbows bend in to a 90-degree position, forearms parallel to the floor, shoulders are down, we squeeze the shoulder blades together, reach the arms all the way out. We'll do 4 more of those. 4, 3, 2, last one. Now we add on, so we bring your back knee in towards the elbow of the left arm and then extend everything out again. For 4 and 3 and 2. Good. Here's your last one. And then we come all the way to standing. Feet are parallel. Take a deep knee bend. Release and stand tall. Let's do 2 more of those. Release and stand tall. Belly in. Release and stand tall. Hands to hips. Extend your right leg back now. Take a slight bend in that standing leg on the left side. Lengthen and lift. Toe tap for 10. 9. 8. Here's 7. For 6. 5. 4. 3. 2. Last one, we squeeze and hold. Extend the arms all the way out parallel above the crown of the head. Elbows bend in, squeeze the shoulder blades together for 5, 4, squeeze your glutes, 3, and 2. Last one, we add on. Knee bends into the right elbow for 5, 4, 3, 2, and last one. And then we stand feet parallel, taking 5 deep knee bends for 5. Release through the hips and lower back. 4, big deep breaths. 3 and 2. Last one. Amazing. We'll take a big shoulder roll. Roll the chin down through the chest. Take the fingertips towards the floor. Place the hands down underneath the shoulders. We'll step back with each leg into a high plank. We hold here. Lift your right leg off the floor and we pump that leg. Nothing moves at the torso. For 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Lower the leg down. Lift the left leg. We pump for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower the leg. Take a deep breath in, dome the top of the back. Lower the knees to the floor. Untuck the toes. And we'll press back into a child's pose. Releasing through the top of the back. And then we'll come through into your tabletop position, keeping those toes tucked under. We're going to move through into the right arm, left leg, alternating extensions. So right arm reaches forward, left leg reaches back, and then we come back down to the floor. For 2, back in. For 3, and in. For 4, and squeeze. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Last one for 10. Squeeze and hold. Point the toe. Belly draws in. And then we lengthen all the way down after the pause to change sides. Left arm forward, right leg back. For 10. And 9. Here's 8. And 7. And 6. 5. 4. 3. 2. Lovely. Last one. Squeeze, hold. Lengthen the fingertips forward, the toes back a little bit further. Push the floor away and then we come back down to the floor. Beautiful. So we take a deep breath in, just dome the top of the back, give it a little tuck of the chin and the tailbone under, and then we drop the belly to the floor. Draw the belly in, drop the belly to the floor. Let's do 2 more. So it's just a little back release. We've been quite focused on strengthening all of those muscles down either side of the spine up to this point in the session. So you may be feeling a little fatigued through there. So we'll just give it a little mobilize. And then lengthen. Beautiful. So we're going to take your right leg now. Take it directly out behind you. Leg is parallel to the floor. The hips are square. We come in through your fire hydrant. Bring the knee to the elbow. We lower the knee down to the wrist, bring it back to the elbow through fire hydrant and extend back. So multiple parts to this exercise. So we come in through fire, elbow, wrist, elbow, fire, back, fire, elbow, wrist, elbow, fire, back. Let's pace it out. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5, 6, 7 and 8. Extend, come back to fire hydrant. We pump that leg, pulse in fire for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. We lower down. Have a little breather. Maybe tent the fingers on the floor. You might want to lift the sit bones up a little higher as we drop the chin and chest to the floor. Amazing. Let's come back through to the other side. And we extend that left leg now, straight out behind you. Beautiful. And we pump the leg for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Coming all the way down. Extend all the way back for 2, and 3, and 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Try and keep those hips turned in. 9 and 10. We then come through fire hydrant and back out. Fire, back out. Fire, back out. 2 more. Back out. Last one. Good. Now we come through fire to elbow, wrist, elbow, fire, extend. Fire, elbow, wrist, elbow, fire. 1 more at this pace. Lower. And now we pace it out. And 2. And 3. And 4. Here's 5. 6. 7. 8. 9. 10. And we lengthen and lower. We then come through to pump the leg in your fire hydrant. We pulse for 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. We lower down, tuck the toes under, press back into a toe-tucked child's pose. We then walk the hands all the way back in towards the knees. We'll roll over the toes, perhaps take a little crouch. You might want to give the knees a little hug. Feel a stretch through the back of the ankles, into the calves maybe. Good. We then lengthen the heels towards the floor. Take a slight bend in the knees, hands to the top of the knees as we roll all the way back up to standing. Okay, so you've got your block or your book. I'm going to place your block or your book lengthways in the center of your mat. Placing your right foot, we'll start off on the right foot. You can start off on your left if you choose. Onto the center of the block, and we have the legs parallel. So the hips are currently square. I'll turn it this way for you. Okay, so the hips currently square. You're on the edge of your block or your book. And from here, taking a deep breath in, the hip staying square, we now change the direction of the hip and we place it on a slant, and then as the foot presses to the floor, and then we come to level again. So we're just stretching down the outer edge of this hip, keeping the knees straight. So what we don't want to do is actually bend the knee and just stand on the floor. That's not going to shift the hips at all. So we want to shift the hip tilt and then come to standing. Shift the hip tilt. 2 and 3 and 4. Good. For 5. Here's 6, 7, 8, 9 and 10. We come back to level. Make sure that these hips are open at the front of the hip. The tailbone is lengthening towards the floor. The lower abdomen is drawing in. Taking a hip hinge, lengthen the leg back behind you, keeping the standing leg straight, and then we come back to standing, feet level. So one foot is on the block, the other foot is floating in space. We hinge at the hip and then come back to level. We'll do 5 more. And squeeze. Belly's in, spine is completely straight. We just tip forward like a pendulum. 2 more. And squeeze. Last one. And squeeze. Beautiful. We then take your right knee, bring it parallel to the hip. The thigh is parallel to the floor. The foot is flexed up. Take the arms above the crown of the head. Here we hold. No wobbles, ideally. For 5, 4, 3, belly's in, 2, and 1. And then we change legs. Just give that right leg a little shake. So by being on the block, we're working the body's proprioceptors. Big word, basically means you can stabilize anywhere in space and your body knows where you are. So it's your feelers of where you are in space that we're working. So we'll go back into your lateral hip tilt. So left foot's off the floor now. We then shift it towards the floor as we stretch the outer edges of this hip, the left hip, and then come back to level, tailbone squeezing towards the floor, down and shift, lengthen for 3 and 4. So if, like me, you have a slightly tighter left hip, this will be quite challenging, especially getting the same amount of range. I'm finding this quite difficult on this side compared to my other side, so you may be the same. For 4, it's also a little bit painful as it stretches through there. For 3, pain in a good way though. And 2, good, last one. Excellent. So we're here, feet are now parallel. We hinge forward at the hips. The back toe is flexed, just a little pendulum, squeezing the outer edge of that left hip to stabilize and come back to center. For 5, and squeeze. For 4, and squeeze. For 3, good. Here's 2. Lovely, last one. And back to the center. We then bring that right knee parallel to the front of your right hip, toes flexed. Reach the arm above the head. The hips are staying completely level. We're not hitching that right hip up higher than the left. We know where we are in space now because we've done our lateral hip shifts. For 4, belly in. For 3, oh, feel that glute. For 2, for 1, and then release and step off your book or your block. Give the legs a little shake. And we're going to come down now to your squat position. So take the feet nice and wide, reach the arms out as we come down into the deepest, juiciest squat we can find. The arms are above the crown of the head for the moment. Feel that back working. We then place the hands into a prayer position, elbows inside the knees. And let's just hang out here for 5 breaths, because this is the most comfortable place to hang out, right? I'm hearing a collective "not" from everywhere as you do this. For 4, for 3. Oh, it's all fun and games, isn't it, folks? For 2, we love this. Last 1, place the hands down on the floor. Let's step back, lower the knees down. Take the hands a little wider than the edge of the mat. Belly draws in, chest lengthens, spine's long. We come down for 4. Little Pilates push-ups. For 3. For 2. Inhale, exhale for 1. Okay, now we're going to do a little hold in the center. 5, 4, 3, 2. Push up, inhale. Exhale, down middle point. 5, 4, belly in. 3, 2, 1. Push up. Let's do 2 more. We inhale. Exhale, lower. 5, 4, 3, 2. Push up. Last time. Inhale. Exhale, lower. For 5, 4. Squeezy glutes. 3. Belly in. Pubic bone to the floor. 1. Push up. Push back. Child's pose. Beautiful work. Lovely. So we'll tuck those toes under. If you'd like to remove your weights from your ankles, please do so now. And we're going to move into some stretches now. So we'll take the legs into a high plank position. And when you're ready, having removed any weights if you're using them, we'll bring your right knee to the edge of the mat and we'll sink low into a pigeon pose. And just notice how those hips feel after our targeted activation work, stabilizing through that hip joint and through the glutes. So standing on one leg, keeping the knee stable, trying not to waver around. It's all the activation through that glute that starts to work. So you will feel that release in this pigeon pose. Now staying in your pigeon pose, you have the option here, coming up onto the elbows. We yawn your right arm open. Press into the elbow that's on the floor. And then we come back down. Change sides. Yawn your left arm open, but keep pressing the left hip towards the floor. So we don't want to peel back and lay into the right side. You still want to keep these hips square to the floor, but we're just yawning the top of the back open. And then come back down. Come back up onto the hands. We sweep your right arm up and, if possible, reach it towards the back thigh. So we're pressing into the left hand. We're reaching the right hand back towards the thigh. Belly's drawing in. Lift the heart and chest. Inhale. Exhale. One more. Inhale. And exhale. Let's reach that arm all the way back, as broad as you can. And then place the hand down. Tuck the back toe under. Let's step back into a high plank. And then just step the left knee to the outer edges of the mat. So we target the left hip. And we'll come down onto the forearms. Inhaling and exhaling. So pressing the right elbow into the floor firmly, we yawn the left arm open. Lengthen the chest towards the top of the mat. Keep squeezing and activating your back thigh. So the inside seam of your right leg is strong and activated. We're not just hanging out on the floor. Everything's still very strong. We then place that forearm down. We then yawn, keeping the hips square. The right arm open, look up. Belly still drawing in. The back leg's still strong and active. We then place that forearm down, come back up onto the hands, tent the fingers on the floor. We reach your left arm forward, up and back. Try and find your thigh if you can. Push down into your right fingertips. Squeeze the shoulders so that they're aiming to line up to the left edge of the mat. Not the front of the mat so much, but there is a twist through the top of the back. We then reach that left arm over the top, back the way you came, tuck the back toe under and step back into a high plank. We'll then lower the knees down to the floor, come to a seated position on the glutes. We'll take the soles of the feet together as we lengthen the chest up to the sky, fold forward. We then come through to the soles of the feet being on the floor, reaching the arms out, palms up. We're going to do a little bit of abdominal activation, not too much today, because today's not the focus on the core so much as it has been about stabilizing in those hips and balance. So we're just to touch base with your core. We're going to tuck the tailbone under, roll down just to the lower rib cage. As we exhale, we come straight back up. So it's almost like a little touch and then a lift. We come down, exhale, and coming back up. Inhaling down. Little kiss of the floor with the middle of the back. We come back up for 4. And squeeze. Here's 3. And squeeze for 2. And squeeze. And your last one. And squeeze. This time, reach the arms all the way above the crown of the head. Lengthen the legs forward, pointy toes. And we fold forward over those legs. Let the head release. Sitting up tall. We lift right leg off the floor. Keep those inside seams of the legs super straight and strong. The lower back is lengthened and then lower it down. Belly draws in, lift the left leg. Reach, reach, reach. And lower it down, shoulders stay down. We reach the right and lower, lengthen the left and lower. We then roll down through the spine, one vertebrae at a time. Coming all the way to the floor, take the feet to the edge of the mat, little windscreen wipe of those knees if you'd like. Beautiful. We then bring the knees underneath the sit bones, taking the right knee into the chest. Take a big circle with that leg in the hip socket for 5, for 4. Making sure the opposing hip stays down into the floor. 3, 2, 1. Let's lengthen the right leg up to the sky now. We then take it out to the side, down to the floor and back up. So we're making it a broader movement now with the full leg. We're still doing the same action of the long bone of the thigh in that hip socket. 3, 2, and 1. And then we lengthen the toe to the sky, hold on either behind the calf, the thigh, or you can flex the toe and hold on inside the big toe, second toe. Whichever you find more lengthening. If you need to take a slight bend at the back of the knee, you can do so as well. And also making sure that we're anchoring that tailbone down into the floor. We then release, take the flexed right foot over the left knee, grab hold of the left knee as we come into a figure 4 stretch. And then we take the left knee in And big circles with that left knee in the hip socket. So the belly's still pulling through to the spine. We're trying to eliminate that natural curve. So really flatten out that lower back. Knees coming in and round for 2, 3, 4. Anchoring your right hip down, 5. Now we extend the leg up to the sky. Take the leg out to the side, down to the floor, and lengthen tall. Squeeze, round and down. For 3, squeeze, round and down. 4, 5, 6, 2 more. Last one. And then we lengthen the leg up to the sky. Let's hold on behind the calf thigh or flexed toes, or point the toes. Chest lifts. Press the back of the shoulders into the floor. So just notice if you're hunching over. Really want to try and press those shoulders down. Deep inhale. And as we exhale, let's flex that left foot over the right knee. Knee comes into the chest. Toes are drawing back towards the shin bone. Anchor the tailbone down. Anchor the back of the skull down into the floor as well. Beautiful. For 3. For 2. And last one. And we will, and just rolling up through the spine as we come into a bridge, roll back down through the spine, and then a little lift undulation of the top of the torso before we lay back flat on the floor. So we roll up through the hips, roll down through the spine, lift and lengthen, and back. Rolling up, rolling down. A lift and lengthen, and back down. Now you can continue with that arm reaching forward 45 degrees, or you can do the next thing, which is what I'm going to demonstrate. The arms come overhead and reach back and then come back through. So it just adds a little more intensity and adds in some stabilizers for the shoulder blades as well. For 4, rolling down, abs in. For 3, and squeeze, shoulders down, arms lengthened. For 2, and squeeze, lengthen. Lovely. Here's your last one. It's just a lyrical undulation of the spine. And relax onto the floor. We'll take the soles of the feet together, maybe take the knees wide. And we'll allow the legs to butterfly open. You might wish to take the hands onto the belly if you choose. And just taking a couple of deep breaths in here to find your center. And exhale. We inhale. And exhale. Beautiful. Last one. We inhale. And as we exhale, bring the knees back together. A little rock and roll up and down the spine if you choose. Or you can roll over to the right side of the body. Before we come to find your seat with the legs either soles of the feet together, or you can cross one leg in front of the other. The eyes are open. We take the tented fingers on the floor. Reach the arms out from the shoulders. We take a deep breath in. Reach your left arm over to the right side. We then roll the chin, upper back lifts, round to the left side. Shoulders are stacked one on top of the other. The hip bone, opposing hip bone, is anchored to the floor. Let's do that a couple more times. So we roll all the way around as though you're folding over an imaginary line at the rib cage. So from the navel, the belly button, we're actually folding the body over and then lengthening. It's getting this beautiful stretch at the top of the back. Beautiful. We do this one more time. And then we come all the way back up to the top. Tent the fingers on the floor, shoulders stay down. We take the right ear to the right shoulder. Come back to the top. We take the left ear to the left shoulder. When we come back to the top, we reach the right arm up by the right ear. Sweep that right arm to the left knee. Take the left arm up by the ear. And then take it behind your right sit bone. And a little twist. And we come back to center, tented fingers on the floor. Let's do the other side. So we reach the left arm up by the ear, reach it across to the right knee. The shoulders are still down, the chest is still lifted. We now reach the left arm up by the ear. This might be enough of a stretch for you. So you might find that this is quite an intense stretch across the top of the back and the back of the shoulder. If you want to add it on, we take the left arm behind your left sit bone, lift and lengthen the top of the shoulders around. Again, keep both sit bones anchored into the floor. We then come back through center, tent both fingers on the floor, and it's as though we're trying to shoot the crown of the head up to the sky like a rocket being launched. The spine is strong and straight. And keeping that upward lifting sensation, we just gently place the hands back on the thighs, still keeping that driving up feeling. Closing the eyes down. Taking a deep inhale of awareness of the breath. The mind is clear, the body has moved, the body is oxygenated. The nervous system is calm. All is well. So we take a deep inhale, bring the thumbs to your third eye space, hands in prayer as we take a deep, nourishing, cleansing, reverent bow. Namaste. Have a wonderful rest of your day. It's been an absolute pleasure guiding you through, and I look forward to seeing you in the next session.